What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Angie. We back at it again for another Ravens and Sports episode. What is up, y'all? Apologize, I've been gone. Just bought a house, doing big things. But anyways, let's just talk about this Ravens game against the Steelers. So they lost to the Steelers Sunday afternoon, 19-20. It was a close game, like I predicted. Just a couple things. Lamar did not have his best game. He's still struggling with the pass. Part of that is, the line is a mess. Another part of it is that, Lamar doesn't seem like himself. You could tell in his throwing arm that something is really off. Even that pass to Mark Andrews to go for 2, it just seems like it's off. Like if that pass was on point, it would have worked. But really, the offensive line on that play for 2, it was out of control. Like if you pause the video of them going for 2 and before Lamar releases the pass, you see majority of the offensive line on the ground on top of each other. And so that forces Lamar to just chuck that ball away, and Mark Andrews really wasn't set to catch the ball, and that's how that whole thing crumbled. Personally, I would have kicked the extra point, but at the same time, I can't really get mad at Harbaugh. I can't, because honestly, if we would have won, nobody would be talking about it. So I can't really get mad at Harbaugh for wanting to go for 2. They had it, and everybody says Justin Tucker, you got the best kicker in the league, but it's like you're trying to get out of there. You don't want to go into overtime, and I believe if the Ravens would have went into overtime, they might have won. But I guess John Harbaugh, after the defense gave up 17 points in the fourth quarter, I'm guessing that John Harbaugh did not have a lot of faith in his defense, because if they would have went into the overtime and Pittsburgh would have won the coin toss, Pittsburgh definitely would have won, probably by a touchdown, because it's just like the defense had no answers. And then Marlon Humphrey goes out after that last touchdown from the Steelers. So at the time I was like, you just should have kicked it, just should have kicked the ball. But I gotta applaud Harbaugh. I can't get mad at him. No, Harbaugh does not need to be fired. Stop it. But yes, the offense, it's mainly that line. There were a couple missed opportunities with Mark Andrews, but again, that goes back to the playbook. Like, you just got to get more people involved. And honestly, the Ravens are really going to struggle if they don't fix this line. And I just think it's too late in the season. So the next game, they got the Browns on the road. They have the Packers at home. They have the Bengals on the road. They have the Rams at home, and then they have the Steelers at home for the last game of the 2021 NFL season. So I say one game at a time, but it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. I don't know what Greg Roman's going to do. Greg Roman's going to have to come up with some type of routes, some type of plays. For one thing, the up the middle with Devontae Freeman and Murray, that's just not working. I would only call that play that's more like for Gus Edwards. Like Gus the Bus can bust up through that middle, and it just seems like, with this weak offensive line, it's just seeing that it's not working. It's not contributing to the run. Granted, when they run on the outside, they do pretty good. But I think the only way that the Ravens are going to be able to keep the line steady, the only way that G-Ro's going to have to get this line right is by doing some quick bubble screens, some short passes, like something to really get this line moving. It's the only way that I think the Ravens have a chance to win, go forward and win a few games. The defense is falling apart. We got Calais Campbell back, we got Brandon Williams back, but it's falling apart. And it was atrocious, even with both of them on the field. They could not stop the running back from the Steelers when they ran it up the middle. There's just no answers. And this was late in the fourth quarter. For one thing, I think the defense is a little bit gassed, but still, like, they started off well and then they just trickled down. 17 points in the fourth quarter, that's no excuse. The secondary, again, was atrocious. We lost Marlon Humphrey, but it was just like they had no answers. Like, everybody looked lost. Anthony Averett missed a tackle. Patrick Queen had to come up from behind him and stop him because Anthony Averett failed to tackle. Anthony was lost during the game. Jimmy Smith lost during the game. To be honest, I didn't know he was going to play. It was just not a good day for the secondary. And Ben Roethlisberger did not get sacked once. There was the pass rush wasn't there. It was a lot of problems. It was a lot of problems for the Ravens. So moving forward, one game at a time. We'll see how they do against the Browns. I'm going to be honest, I'm not really confident in this team right now. Going forward, there's a lot of injuries. There's a lot of miscommunication. There's a lot of personnel that, does not fit this offensive scheme, defensive scheme. So there's a lot. It just doesn't seem like everybody's on the same page. So, to be honest, I don't know moving forward how this is going to play out. I know the Browns won't be with their tight end the next game, Njoku. So, we'll just have to see how the Ravens do. Now, the last game that the Browns and Ravens met up, for some weird reason, the coach decided not to keep running Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, which murders the Ravens every time. But I guarantee you, now that they've seen that film, trust and believe they're going to be running all over that defense. So, that line has got to get ready. They have got to create. I don't know what Wink's going to do as far as, creating different schemes and disguises, but definitely they cannot all blitz. They cannot do an all-out blitz. That has to stop, because this is not the defense for that. It's not the defense where you have the Ray Lewises, the Ed Reeds, the Terrell Suggs, the Jared Johnsons, where you can just sit there and send the whole flock and what's going to happen. The whole loyalty novice. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen with this type of defense. So I just hope that somehow they figure all of this out. And I really hope that Lamar can get back to himself. I know he's been sick and, missed the game, but I just really, really hope that Lamar can get back to his fundamentals, because this is like, I think they said the fourth time that he threw an interception in the game. Like, that has got to stop. And Lamar's got to learn how to stop holding on to the ball so much. And he has to learn how to look for his progressions. Like, quarterback is not an easy job, and it's not an easy position. But I just hope that Lamar is able to break the game down slow enough to where he can look through his progressions. He can take his time and just, able to pass. But again, it goes back to the offensive line. Like, they left TJ Watt roam the field, and oh my gosh, he had like 3 or 4 sacks on Lamar, and it's just like, I blame that on Greg Roman, and I blame that on the offensive line coach for not adjusting to like stopping TJ Watt. Like, they did it last week, a couple weeks ago against the Browns with my man. I'll have his name listed below, because I can't think of his name right now. I'm sorry. I got a lot of names in my head, but I just don't understand why the Baltimore Ravens, the coaching staff at that, does not make adjustments. If something is not working. Somebody called in on the fan on the morning show. It was a caller, and he said something that I totally agree with. He said that when something is working, the Ravens change it. When nothing is working, the Ravens don't change it. And it's just like, he is so right. They never make adjustments when they need to. And it's just like they allow it. And again, I don't know why. I'm going to say this in the video until Greg Roman does it. The no huddle, the hurry up offense. You saw Pittsburgh doing it after, the first few times when they went 3-0. All in all, I don't understand why. I just don't understand why the Ravens do this. They do this to themselves every year. They start off great, and then they just trickle down, trickle down, trickle down. Like it's getting old, and people can sit here and talk about them in the Super Bowl. You ain't gonna win no playoff games with that type of line. You ain't gonna win no playoff games with that secondary playing 5 yards off and not knowing who to cover. You're not going to win Super Bowls like that. You're not going to win Super Bowls when you're all the way down into scoring territory and you turn the ball over. You're not going to win that way. It's not going to happen. So I don't know what's next for the Ravens. Hopefully they can get this win against the Browns. I'll go over the stats and everything. But again, it's a rivalry. So we'll see what happens. But anyways, it's your girl Angie. Make sure you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can be up to date with all the Ravens and Bulls and anything else that you think you would like me to cover, and find an interesting article, news story, whatever. I will cover it. And we'll see you next time.